Hey guys, what's up? It's Sydney and welcome back to another Haunted Locations episode. But before we get into this video, I did want to mention I am doing a 30% off sale on my Etsy until the 22nd. So if you do see this video before then, just know that you can get that discount. And this is one of the pieces that I have on there, and it's a smoky quartz crystal. So yeah, if you like crystals and stuff like that, please feel free to browse my Etsy shop. And it is Perfect Poison Shop on Etsy. And it's all one word if you go to search for the shop. And other than that, I do have a link in the description down below, so you can go see it there as well. And if you want to follow me, you can follow me on social media at Sydney's Poisonous. And if you want to follow the jewelry shop, it's at Perfect Poison Shop. The YouTube Instagram is at Sydney's Poisonous YouTube. So if you want to go follow the YouTube channel to see what I'm going to be posting next, then you can go ahead and give that a follow and check those updates there. So now that I've done my little rants, let's get into the video. So this week we're going to be talking about one of my favorite haunted locations, simply due to the fact that it's so highly debated as to whether it is haunted or not online. And I read so many different stories and comments from people about this place. So I was very, very excited to film this one. And this week we're going to be talking about the Gurnsey Hollow Cemetery. So the Gurnsey Hollow Cemetery was built in the really early 1800s, and it's originally an Irish cemetery. The Gurnsey Hollow Cemetery is located in Frewsburg, Frewsburg, New York. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, so anybody from New York want to correct me, then that's cool. But the cemetery is located on 1190 Gurnsey Hollow Road. And it is actually in the middle of the woods, and it is like pushed all the way back to the back of the woods. And it is said that there is actually a cemetery behind this cemetery in the actual woods. And people are super drawn to the back of the cemetery for some reason. So we're going to get into that. So like I mentioned, this graveyard dates back to the early 1800s, and there's not a whole lot of history on this graveyard itself, at least that I could find. So if you have any more like history as far as like how the graveyard got started and all that, that would be great to add in. Leave a comment down below, that would be really helpful. But the only thing that I know about this graveyard is that it was built in the early 1800s. A lot of children are actually buried there. They said, one source said that they made this cemetery specifically for the children who died of smallpox. And I don't know about you guys, but there's always something that freaks me out about children. I don't know why, but it always just creeps me out. Actually, I do know why. I take that back. It's usually because when a demon is trying to hide their true identity, they usually take the form of a child to make themselves seem more innocent and to basically trick you into trusting them. So it always kind of freaks me out. I'm not gonna lie. Anything with children and spirits and death always kind of scares me. So like I said, not a whole lot of history in this section of it, but I did want to go into the ghosts and more of the actual accounts of paranormal activity. So when you first approach the cemetery, a lot of people say that they have had car trouble where their car has actually shut off completely, or they have had trouble with their headlights not staying on or not working properly. And a lot of people say that their cameras die when they have a full charge, as well as their phones and any other kind of equipment, electronic equipment, cameras, anything like that. When they go there to try to capture something on film, it's said that all of their cameras die, or they take pictures on their own, or they record on their own, or whatever. So that would be really interesting, but I would be really annoyed at the same time, because the whole point in going there is to try to catch something on camera or to try to communicate in some way, shape, or form. So if all of my electronics were not working, I would be pissed. So not only the technology failures all around, from the cars to the cameras, but a lot of people notice when they first walk up to the gate that there is a elderly woman, and she actually guards the gate. Oh shit, that scared me. It was like a thud. I don't know if you guys could hear it, but it was loud. But my son is home, so it's probably just him. See me rationalizing? So with this woman that guards the front gate of the Gurnsey Hollow Cemetery, she is supposedly translucent, But this lady is said to be not so friendly. A lot of people have also reported feeling very, very cold when they go to step into the spot that she was actually standing in. So when you first walk in the cemetery, a lot of people have reported to feel trapped, like as if there is no way out of the cemetery, which I feel like could be explained though by the woods surrounding them, because you're trapped in woods and it looks like there's no way out because it's literally in the middle of the fucking woods. But a lot of people have actually reported seeing orbs and flashing lights, glowing gravestones, and their camera flashes going on and off without them touching their cameras. But they say a little boy has also been present in the cemetery as well. One of the accounts of the little boy, and this is actually from someone, I guess, who lives very close to the area, even so close to where the spirits would come into their own home. But she specifies that she is a medium and that she can communicate with spirits. And the little boy said that his parents were killed and he was actually left. The information has not been like verified with documents of like death certificates or anything like that. I just thought I would mention it to you guys. So the actual local legend of the Gurnsey Hollow Cemetery is that a little girl about 6 or 7 was actually, and there's 2 versions of this, was actually stoned to death in the graveyard because she was accused of witchcraft. And as many of you may know, I take these kinds of stories very personally. And that's all I'm going to say about that for right now. But the second version of this legend is that the girl was not accused of witchcraft. She was actually a mentally ill girl. And the townspeople were not very understanding of mental illness at the time due to the time period. And they were often annoyed with her as she struck a nerve with a lot of the locals that live there. So they eventually chased her into the woods, into the cemetery, and threw stones at her until she died. So with that, they did not understand mental illness back then, and a lot of the accounts actually from the Salem witch trials of accused witches were women who had mental illness issues because they could not understand why would they throw fits and stuff like that all the time and act erratically or act differently than a quote-unquote normal person would in that type of situation. They didn't understand it whatsoever and had no compassion for it whatsoever as well. So this little girl has actually been known to tug on visitors' hair. A lot of people have heard her laughing throughout the cemetery, and people have heard like leaves rustling and stuff as if she's kind of like running through the graves and playing. But she is actually said to be extremely friendly and not very threatening in the slightest. It's assumed that the little girl and the little boy spirits actually play together in the cemetery. But a lot of people do feel an overwhelming sense of sadness when they walk into the graveyard, and in my opinion, that would be the little girl's sadness coming through as sort of like a empathic feeling because she was wrongfully accused of witchcraft, or even just wrongfully accused of being a troublemaker because she had a mental disorder. It's really actually quite sad. If it's not for witchcraft and it is for a mental illness, either way it's really sad. There's also another legend of the Gurnsey Hollow Cemetery, and that is that when you leave the cemetery, you actually have to kiss the cross that is there. And it is a giant cross, not very sanitary. I wouldn't want to kiss it, but I probably would because I'd be so terrified. But I'm going to let you guys know of a story that I read about someone who actually did not kiss the cross and kind of disrespected it in one of the worst ways, I would say. So a man that lived in the area, his name was Justin, and he was a skeptic of ghosts, the paranormal, all of that kind of thing. They actually ended up going there one night, and him and like a group of his friends, and he on the way out did not kiss the cross. In fact, he actually took a piss on the cross. Not only is it super bad luck to not kiss the cross on the way out, but to desecrate it, I would assume would bringing a lot of negativity and negative energy onto yourself that maybe you don't want. So Justin and his friends were actually incredibly sober that night. I just wanted to make that a point as far as what my next point is going to be. But totally sober, on their way home, they got into a really bad car accident. He and his 2 passengers in his vehicle almost died in the car accident because it was so severe. After the accident, Justin said, and I quote, "Whether it was something paranormal or just karma, I will never go back there." So obviously Justin is a firm believer now in the paranormal after going there as a skeptic due to his severe car accident that he got into. And it was very odd that he got into this car accident in the way that he had described it because he was completely sober. He is completely convinced in the paranormal, and I do not blame him. I would be too if I got into a car accident after pissing on a cross. That is kind of crazy. And last but not least, the creepiest part about the whole thing to me is that the people that go to visit there, a majority of them have claimed that when they got back to their car, which was indeed locked when they went down to the cemetery, that inside the car there are children's handprints and fingerprints inside the car. It's just incredibly creepy to me if I saw children's handprints in the inside of my car and I know that it wasn't from my child. I would be freaking out. That would be one of the craziest things, honestly. But as per usual, this place is highly debated online. If you want to go read some of the comments on these stories specifically, they're actually pretty half and half, I would say. I would say about half the people that comment on there say that they've been there a million times and nothing's ever happened to them. And then half of them say that they'll never go back and that they actually did see something, and then the other half of them say that they did see stuff or that they'll never go back there because of what they saw. So it's kind of evenly split in that aspect, and I feel like it usually is, and that's just kind of because certain people are more sensitive. God, I can't talk for shit. Some people are just more sensitive to the supernatural and feeling the energy in different planes. So I feel like it just depends on the person, really. But regardless, I would love to go there and visit. I would probably be a little bit scared of the children, like I said before. But I would definitely go there and kind of take a look around and see if I could see anything. Because I feel like I'm kind of sensitive in that aspect to the paranormal and that kind of thing. Because things happen all the time. A lot of things happen to me like in front of other people, which makes them kind of question stuff too, which is kind of crazy. Like my coworkers especially now. So, and normally I wouldn't be like open to like my coworkers knowing about me being more sensitive to the paranormal or stuff happening around me, but I can't really control it when it happens around me at work. So, yeah. But anyway, like I said, I would absolutely love to visit this place. It is in the middle of the woods, so I'd be more scared probably of like a bear than of a ghost or something like that. Because I did, in one of the videos, there was like bear prints in the snow, and the people in the video were like, "Oh shit, is there a bear in here? Are we gonna die?" And I'm terrified of like bear attacks or whatever, probably because I'm like 5'2", 100 pounds. So I am not good up against a bear. That's probably going to be my biggest fear. But I definitely want to go visit the Gurnsey Hollow Cemetery. I think it would be a beautiful experience, whether it's haunted or not, because of the history in it. But anything built like in the 1800s, I'm about it. Let's go. So I will be adding this one to my list. Hopefully I could get there. Like I said, it's in New York. It's on literally the other side of the country. So I would have to fly there because my ass is not driving to New York from Arizona. But anyway, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video, and I enjoyed researching it. I thought it was very interesting, the debate online, especially between the individuals that were commenting, and I think it was just very, very cool. So please let me know what you think of this episode. If you have any other information to add, that would be great. Please leave it in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up for me and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. Share this video with your friends, And stay tuned because next week is going to be the last episode of the Haunted Locations Season 1 that I have been doing. And I'm going to be starting a new season just to take a break from the Haunted Locations for a little bit because sometimes it brings some energy to my house and stuff that I don't really need. So I just feel like it's good to take a break. Maybe every 10 locations that I research, I'm going to probably take a break from it just to clear out some negative energy if there is any. So yeah, I am actually going to be starting a new season here soon that I hope that you guys will enjoy because I actually really enjoy researching this as well, and sometimes you need a break from the spooky stuff so not a lot of weird stuff happens at your house. But yeah, thank you guys again for watching, and I will see you next Wednesday.